In Monday's episode of The Young and the Restless, tensions rise across Genoa City as secrets, betrayals, and power struggles continue to unfold, leaving nearly every major family caught in emotional chaos. Summer Newman, still furious over the recent turmoil and especially the fallout involving Phyllis Summers, refuses to confront her mother face to face. Rather than engaging in a direct argument, Summer decides to pour all of her anger, pain, and disappointment into a brutally honest letter. She gives the message to Victoria Newman and asks her to deliver it to Phyllis, making it obvious that Summer is not yet ready to deal with her mother in person. The letter becomes a symbol of how broken their relationship has become and how much resentment Summer is carrying. Victoria returns to the Newman ranch after her trip to Milan and reconnects with Victor Newman. Their reunion quickly shifts into serious family business when Victoria explains Summer's emotional state and tells Victor that Summer has written a scathing message for Phyllis. Victor listens, though he remains skeptical that a letter will truly affect Phyllis or change anything in the long run. Even so, he doesn't dwell on the emotional side of the situation for long. Victor is far more focused on the empire he's trying to rebuild and the power he believes is rightfully his. Victor proudly notes that he has already reclaimed Chancellor and makes it clear that he intends to recover every last piece of the Newman Empire. His confidence is unmistakable, but Victoria becomes visibly concerned when she learns Nicky Newman will not be returning to run Chancellor. That revelation sparks immediate questions. Victoria wants to know what exactly happened between her parents and whether Nicky left the ranch by choice or was effectively pushed out by Victor's controlling behavior. Victor, as expected, refuses to fully acknowledge his role in the growing divide. He minimizes his actions and insists that Nicky should have supported his decision to use Jack Abbott as leverage. To Victor, his tactics were justified in the pursuit of victory and control. He doesn't seem to understand or simply refuses to admit why Nicky found his behavior unacceptable. In Victor's eyes, the real problem is Nicky's refusal to stand by him. He even suggests that unless she changes her position, there may be no real hope for repairing their marriage anytime soon. At the coffee house, Nicky attempts to regain some sense of calm and dignity despite everything she is going through. Noah Newman offers her a thoughtful gift, a Billie Holiday record. The gesture is kind and heartfelt, and Noah clearly hopes it will bring her some comfort. He also expresses concern about the tension between Nicky and Victor and worries about what her departure from the ranch really means. Nicky tries to reassure him and maintain a composed front, but it is clear she is deeply affected by everything that has happened. Sharon Newman also notices Nicky's emotional state and offers her support, gently letting Nicky know she is there if she wants to talk. Although Nicky initially avoids opening up too much, she later meets Victoria at the athletic club and finally shares her perspective more openly. Nicky passionately defends her decision to stand up to Victor, insisting she could not ignore the terrible things he did to Jack. She makes it clear that this isn't just about another argument between spouses. This is about values, morality, and the limits of what she is willing to tolerate. During their conversation, Victoria also learns that Jack's marriage is hanging by a thread. Rumors and revelations surrounding his time away continue to cast a shadow over his personal life. Victoria believes Jack may bear some responsibility for the trouble he's now facing, especially if he made reckless choices while he was away. Nicky, however, sees the situation differently. In her view, Victor's interference and manipulations are what truly set everything in motion. She believes Victor is the one who should be blamed and insists he needs to be taught a serious lesson. Elsewhere in Genoa City, the tension reaches another level when Victor crosses paths with Kane Ashby at society's bar. Victor immediately seizes the opportunity to needle Kane, particularly over Lily Winter's return and her involvement in the recent fake kidnapping drama. Kane, already boiling with suspicion and resentment, doesn't waste time. He directly confronts Victor and demands to know what he offered Lily to get her to participate in the scheme. Victor, calm and smug as always, refuses to give Kane a straight answer. Instead, he suggests that Lily didn't need much convincing because she was already angry enough to go along with the plan. His dismissive attitude only infuriates Kane more. Kane feels cornered, betrayed, and humiliated by everything that has happened, and his frustration finally explodes. In a chilling moment, he threatens to burn all of Genoa City down. Though Victor takes the threat seriously enough to note it, he outwardly remains cool and almost amused. He insists Kane won't destroy him and instead promises to make Kane's life miserable. At the Chancellor Mansion, Lily faces the fallout from her deception head-on. Devon Winters and Nate Hastings are both furious with her for lying about the kidnapping. The emotional weight of the confrontation is heavy, especially because it comes from people she loves and trusts. Devon is particularly hurt and outraged. He argues that Kane may have made many mistakes over the years, but Lily's choice to deceive her own family was just as painful and damaging. To Devon, this was more than a strategy, it was a betrayal. Lily does not deny the pain she caused. She apologizes for the worry and fear she put Devon and Nate through, but she also tries to explain her reasoning. She insists that at the time, the deal Victor offered seemed like the right move, and that she believed she was acting in the best interest of her future and perhaps even her family. Still, her explanation does little to erase the damage. As the discussion continues, Devon begins to see the situation more clearly. He realizes Victor likely promised Lily control of Chancellor in exchange for her cooperation, but is now stalling and failing to follow through. That realization only strengthens Devon's anger. He knows Victor's pattern of manipulation all too well and quickly concludes that trusting him was a major mistake. Devon becomes determined to shut Victor down before he causes even more destruction. Nate, while still disappointed and hurt, offers a slightly more balanced perspective. He acknowledges that Lily was in a difficult position and that she may have felt she had no choice if she wanted the fake kidnapping to look convincing. He points out that if Lily had told him or Devon the truth, there was always a risk that Kane would somehow figure it out. Nate also reflects on Victoria's behavior during the fake abduction ordeal and concludes that she must have known from the beginning that it was all staged. That realization opens the door to even more questions about how many people were secretly involved. Meanwhile, a separate and increasingly disturbing threat begins to emerge. Noah receives troubling news involving Sienna Bacall and Matt Clark. Sienna has gotten a deeply unsettling text from Matt asking if she misses him. The message is enough to send a chill through her, especially since she had changed her number and believed Matt no longer had access to her. The fact that he found a way to contact her again makes it obvious that he is still watching, still calculating, and still determined to keep her on edge. As Sienna talks things through with Noah, the situation grows even more alarming. Nick Newman had recently gone to Las Vegas after following a lead connected to Reza Thompson. At first, that lead seemed promising, but now Sienna starts to fear it may have been a trap all along. She worries that Matt intentionally planted false clues, knowing she would make the connection and send Nick in the wrong direction. That possibility terrifies her. If Matt deliberately lured Nick away from Genoa City, then his real objective may never have been Vegas at all. It may have been to isolate Sienna and leave her exposed while Leek is out of town. The more she thinks about it, the more panicked she becomes. Matt's behavior suddenly looks far more strategic and dangerous than before, and Sienna fears that she and the people around her may be walking straight into whatever twisted plan he has set in motion. Noah tries to be a calming presence, but the concern on his face says it all. He knows this is no longer just a case of creepy texts or emotional manipulation. If Matt is truly orchestrating events from the shadows, then the danger could escalate quickly. Sienna's fear begins to spread, and the uncertainty about what Matt will do next creates a growing sense of dread. By the end of the episode, emotions are running high on every front. Family fractures deepen, old wounds reopen, and trust becomes harder to find. Summer's anger toward Phyllis remains unresolved. Nikki and Victor are further apart than ever. Kane's rage is reaching dangerous levels. Lily's choices continue to alienate the people closest to her. And in the background, Matt Clark's looming threat adds a layer of suspense that could explode at any moment. As all of these storylines collide, Monday's episode sets the stage for even bigger confrontations ahead. Power plays, emotional betrayals, and rising fear promise that the drama in Genoa City is only just beginning. With so many characters on edge and so many secrets still buried beneath the surface, the consequences of these actions are bound to ripple through the days to come in shocking and unpredictable ways.